Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's important announcement regarding the critical work we're going to be continuing to do on behalf of our students and families this summer. I am Jackie Scott, the Director of the Department of Community Resources and Services, and so happy that you have chosen to join us for this important announcement this morning. So to kick us off and to share the great news of all the work that we're doing, I'm excited to invite up our County Executive, Dr. Calvin Ball. Dr. Ball?
Good morning. Thank you so very much, Jackie, for all of the good work that you and your team do, and thank you for kicking this off this morning. I appreciate you all joining us here at Oakland Mills Middle School, where both of my daughters went to school. The past 2 years have been especially challenging for our students, our families, and our educators. The pandemic has exacerbated already existing disparities in student learning levels. And during the summer months especially, the academic achievement gap widens as students from families with lower incomes are not always afforded the same opportunities as their peers. Last year, we anticipated these challenges and invested a record $750,000 to support our most vulnerable students through our HOCO Strives initiative, which stands for Strategies to Reach an Inclusive Vision and Equitable Solutions. Strives is an umbrella for the many initiatives we have in place to address the achievement gap and now address the learning loss that we've seen throughout the pandemic. Today, we've redoubled our efforts to ensure that every student in Howard County can maximize the benefits of our amazing public school system. This year, we are dedicating $2 million toward closing the achievement gap. That's an increase of approximately 167% from just last year. And this builds upon our long-term investment in HOCO Strives, which started with $400,000 in my first budget. This year's funding is 5 times that amount. And funding will support a multitude of initiatives, including free meals, after-school and summer programming, mental health services, and social and emotional learning programs. One of our most successful initiatives is our Summer Scholars Program, which works with rising middle school students to get them math ready and support students who have fallen behind by getting them back on graduation track. I'd like to acknowledge and thank the leaders of Tomorrow Youth Center who continue to do great work providing the instruction to our students. Now, our Summer Scholars programming has been incredibly impactful over the past 5 years. Last year, we were able to serve more than 200 of our middle school students, increasing their preparedness for the next math level. Our investment in social and emotional learning this year alone is $720,000, nearly the total amount invested in HOCO Strives last year. With this massive investment, we continue to build upon the curriculum of our successful Summer Scholars Program to address the achievement gap in math and other subject areas. First, we'll expand programming for elementary students for the first time. Our local children's board will be piloting 2 community-based summer scholar camps in Howard Crossing and in Long Reach. A special thank you to the Y of Central Maryland for their partnership and the Howard Crossing Camp and the Boys and Girls Club, which will be running the Long Reach Camp. Second, we will continue our after-school programming for our students at Deep Run Elementary School, which we launched last year. This programming will provide free English language tutoring to parents and families. Third, our Department of Community Resources and Services which Jackie Scott Abley leads. We'll open a new Family Support Center, the first in Howard County, which will expand our ability to provide human service with a focus on our youngest families from pregnancy through age 3. And finally, we'll invest in grant expansion for our community partners so that they can learn and implement best practices. These organizations will provide a range of services, including after-school programming, summer programming, and family engagement. Additional STRIVES funding will go toward ensuring our students have healthy, accessible meals. We can't expect our students to learn on an empty stomach. Investing additional resources in mental health services for our most vulnerable students, including those who are uninsured or underinsured. And supporting community partnerships and local partnership teams, which are foundational to identifying the type of supports different school communities need the most. With this important funding at this critical moment, we can reach more of our students and families in need in Howard County. As we travel this road to recovery together, this is a critical moment that we must seize together. None of this would have been possible without all of our partners who invest the time and energy to make these programs successful, many of whom are here today. A special thank you to our school system, our superintendent, Dr. Martirano, our Department of Community Resources and Services, and our local Children's Board for your steadfast support and partnership in bringing these programs to our students. These investments that we're making now will have a positive impact on our children and families and ensure that our next generation has even more opportunities to be ready and successful for their next chapter as they work to become their very best selves. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ball, and thank you for your just continued support in all that we've been able to accomplish. We couldn't have done it without that support. I'd like to now invite Dr. Martirano, our superintendent of schools, up to share a few words and to especially thank him for all the support and the school system has given us throughout the years. Dr. Martirano.
Thank you, Jackie. And let's begin by acknowledging the solid work that is occurring every day with our county executive, Calvin Ball. He firmly believes in the commitment to our children, and my philosophy is when a superintendent of schools and a county executive communicate often and regularly and have a shared vision and focus on funding to dedicated areas driven by our data, great things happen for kids. And in Howard County, I want to believe that we have one of the best relationships that we could possibly have that is a model for our state as well as for our nation in terms of how individuals should collaborate on the best interests of our children. So before I talk specifically about the program, I want to commend our county executive, give him a round of applause for his sustained dedication. Our county executive and I communicate often and regularly, and we have many times where we talk about what our needs are. And today I could go through every one of these posters today and explain those in great detail. You see the details in those, and our county executive has explained them in detail. But the translation of that $2 million, what it means for our children in the summer, is absolutely critical. And so I wanted my words to be dedicated at a higher level in terms of the specificity of these words. You see it in front of you. You heard it from our county executive, and we're here at Oakland Mills with our principal, Regina Coleman, who has done a fantastic job. Give her a round of applause if you would as well. But the key message that I want our community to understand, all our Howard Countyans, is that although school officially ended for this school year this past Friday, the learning process doesn't end. And I want all of us to understand as citizens, if we don't use our muscles, what happens to them? They atrophy. The same thing happens with the brain. If we're not using it, then we regress in terms of our ability to process information. And as our county executive mentioned, the thing that ramps me up is the fact of the regression of learning that occurs in the summer. And so if we think about how that has been exacerbated over these last several years, specifically, we've talked about the summer slide incessantly. It is real. The regression is real. But now combine that with the COVID slide, not only is it real, but it's right in front of us every day. If I were to interview all of your colleagues, which I do regularly as all of our 77 principals, each and every one of them would say that the regression, both in terms of learning, as well as then the social emotional well-being of our students, is paramount for what is affecting our school system right now. And so I know, working with our county executive, our Board of Education, and all of our community leaders, local children's board, our principals, is to focus our efforts on the recovery of learning and the acceleration of learning, so that when our young people come back to the formalized setting, all of our young people come back to the formalized setting at the beginning of the next school year, they are fully ready to go. And so the significance of the specificity of the program is important to understand, but the bigger picture of what's happening to our children every day is most important to all of us. And a school system and a community that dedicates themselves to the betterment of our children will be all the better every day, I can tell you that. So I want to thank everybody, our county executive once again, all the leaders in this room. What I tried to do today is illuminate the reality of what is happening, that this is more of a program in terms of on paper. We're changing lives and we're assisting young people to keep them on the right path, to continue to move them forward with the ultimate goal of every child in Howard County graduating from high school with the focus on college, career readiness, and life readiness. Thank you for the opportunity. Sorry I rambled on a little longer, but people who know me know that I've been blessed with the gift of gab, and I will keep that reputation going today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Martirano. And now, two very special guests I'd like to invite up, our reason for doing all that we do every day. I'd like to invite up Jarena Dobor and Malachi Stevens, two of our HOCO Strive students.
Good morning. My name is Jarena Dobor, and I'm a freshman at St. Mary College of Maryland. This is my third year participating in the Summer Youth Program, and the first year I had the opportunity to work online. It was truly an amazing experience. I learned so much about social capital, how to get a job, and how to maintain a job. I accepted my first job at Kohl's with the knowledge I gained from the Summer Youth Program. And last year, I had the opportunity to work at Patuxent Valley Middle School through the Summer Scholars Program. I acquired good communication skills, patience, organizational skills, problem-solving skills. I'm currently working with the Summer Youth Program right now, helping to manage the program. I personally, with the experience that I gained through the Summer Youth Program, I now have my own personal hair business, and I'm certified in CPR and first aid. I'm also enrolled in child care certification through the Summer Youth Program. And honestly, I just continue to grow and try through the new experience and the knowledge that I gained. So the Summer Youth Program has really just been a blessing to me and just helped me to continue to grow. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Malachi Stevens, and I'm a senior at Lincoln University, and I major in computer science. I have been with the Howard County workforce since 2020, while I initially was virtual. While we were virtual, I learned many things such as networking, budgeting, and social capital. Being in the virtual program opened lots of doors for me then and even to this day. Because I was in the virtual program, I was able to get certified in my field. I now have certifications in Cyber Foundations, a Network Plus, and a Security Plus cert. But it doesn't stop there. Since I am now in person instead of virtual, I've gained lots of skills through working here. I've learned to work in a team environment, how to complete projects with a team or lead a team, and I've gotten a taste of what is expected of me in the office environment. The things that I've learned and experienced through my time working here will surely translate when I get my first job after I obtain my degree next spring.
Thank you both. Let's give our students another round of applause. Their achievements are absolutely amazing. We also had a parent who was scheduled to be with us who has sent remarks and asked that we share those remarks on her behalf. Erica Tillery is a HOCO Strives parent, and she writes as follows. Greetings. I am writing to you today to share how the Leaders of Tomorrow Youth Center of Howard County was not just a summer program, but a lifesaver to a single mom and her preteen son during COVID-19 and after the pandemic. Many, I am sure, have heard the horror stories of the tremendous impact that the pandemic had for many members of our diverse community. However, most have not shared the positive things that came out in the midst of it neither. I will courageously tell my story, exactly how LTYC changed the narrative. Around the time our legislators declared that all students in Maryland will have to undergo virtual learning, me, being a single mother with an 11-year-old at the time, with no transportation, was stuck at a crossroads. I had to decide where my son was going to get actual, real, in-person aid with his virtual learning, while I had to work 8 hours a day, in person on my job, and how he was going to get there. Completely stressed out, I got an email bulletin blast. I had subscribed to the newsletter prior to the pandemic from the local Children's Board of Howard County with this colorful flyer outlining a beautiful, free, academic enriched program in person with physical activities all under the COVID-19 guidelines. I immediately called Ms. Eisenreich in tears and explained my situation. She compassionately shared the mission of LTYC, that this program was designed and funded to help students both academically and socially through physical activity to overcome the pandemic, in hopes to be able to eventually go back in person for learning whenever our legislators felt it was safe for students to return in person and back to normal as possible. Ms. Eisenreich also mentioned that the transportation was included. I think I had really started to get emotional at that point. Swiftly, I applied, and my son was accepted. After a few weeks, my son's grades improved 60% more than if he were just virtually learning without educators to assist him. Also, pre-COVID, my son was receiving behavioral services in person through the county that had discontinued due to the pandemic. The LTYC staff at all locations were well educated and equipped to mentor my son in a multitude of ways. In fact, Mr. Reginald Allen was almost like a father figure to my son, whose father was not currently present in his life. As far as the activities, let me tell you, anything your child and or adolescent wants to do, LTYC touches it, from dance to computer gaming to debate classes. They have it all. We didn't write this. She wrote this. And in closing, if it were not for LTYC, the Howard County Children's Board, and their enormous patience, generosity, and compassion, I would have had to leave my job to focus on my son's education and risk being unemployed during the pandemic. Thank you, everyone, for all you do. With warm regards, Erica P. Tillery. Thank you, Ms. Tillery. Now I'd like to invite up Regina Coleman, the principal here, and a key partner from the very beginning. Eric? I'm sorry, Regina.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. And these two students, this is why we do what we do. So let's just give them another round of applause. Amazing. And that story brings all this to full circle. And as Jackie mentioned, we've been partners in this for the last 6 years, I think. For the last 6 years, and I think the first year that we did this, we only had like a sampling of maybe 60 students. And those 60 students, we wanted to help them to accelerate from grades 7th through 9th. So we had a small cohort of students. The local children's board supported us. The county executive supported us. Dr. M, Caroline Walker, Kim and Ben and Jackie and Megan Proback. We were all here working really hard trying to figure all this out. And then it just has grown into this amazing thing. The students ask to come, can I be a part of that summer thing? And it's just wonderful. It helps with engagement. It helps close the gap up. It helps with that social emotional piece. And it helps with me because I get to see them all summer. And we get to continue to bond, and I get to learn about what their interests are. So again, thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you to the local children's board, Caroline Walker, Dr. M, Dr. Ball, and everyone who has their hands in, because we couldn't do it without the whole village. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your partnership, Regina. And now we have our final presentation from Dana Carr from LTYC.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for allowing me to be here. My name is Dana Carr, and I am the Executive Director of Leaders of Tomorrow Youth Center. And you all have said so many wonderful things about us, so we are grateful and appreciative. We are excited about beginning the 6th year of this partnership to serve middle school Howard County youth through engaging enrichment, leadership, and social and emotional learning. This summer, we are working with over 100 students to give experiences and opportunities in music, dance, culinary arts, fashion and cosmetology, and so much more. Research shows us that the arts promote positive development in the academic, social, and emotional realms, and that the arts are key and critical to an important comprehensive program. The arts are what make us most human and most complete as people. We all know, and has been mentioned here, during the COVID-19 pandemic, children and families have experienced major disruptions as a result of public health safety measures, including school closures, social isolation, financial hardships, and gaps in healthcare access. It is our hope with this program that we can help to restore, rebuild, and renew young people's joy and excitement during the summer while addressing the summer and COVID-19 slides. We will be providing them with meaningful experiences so that they can express, collaborate, and create. And we are hoping that this program will be something that they remember and will be proud of for years to come. So in closing, we are so grateful for this ongoing partnership with the school system, the local children's board, and the county executive's office, and everyone who is involved. So thank you, and looking forward to a great summer.
Thank you, Dana. We also have truly a village surrounding us in this effort. So as we close out today, I want to recognize those other key partners that are here with us today. In addition to Dana and LTYC, we have joining us Heather Navasky, who is the Executive Director, Teen Experience, the Y of Central Maryland. Jeff Breslin, who is the President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Baltimore. Jesse Schaefer, the Director of Development and Communications at the Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Baltimore. Charles Brown, the Executive Director of Healthy Families Grow. Fran Trout, who is the Administrator at the Howard County Office of Workforce Development. Caroline Walker, who is a critical partner here at the school system, and Dan Rosewag, and of course Regina Coleman here as the principal of Oakland Mills Middle School. We truly could not do this effort any of the summers without your partnership in ensuring that our children are cared for, our young adults are growing, and just building the support that they need. And I couldn't do any of what I do without my team in the Office of the Local Children's Board, led by Kim Eisenreich. Thank you for your vision, Kim, and your commitment to this community. Working alongside you in the community is really making a difference. Thank you. And thank you to all of you today, and thank you for joining us, those of you who've joined us online. Have a good day. That concludes our press.